In politics, particularly during elections, parties and candidates devise means to undermine influence and chances of opponents. In an attempt to hurt the chances of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the fast-approaching 2023 elections, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has filed a suit before the Federal High Court in Abuja seeking the sack of all National Working Committee members of the ruling party. In the suit, the PDP is contesting the legality of the process that produced the Abdullahi Adamu-led NWC. This is connected to a recent judgment of the Federal High Court, which nullified the nomination of Osun State's Governor, Boyega Oyetola, and his deputy, Benedict Alabi, as APC candidates in the July governorship election in the state. As such, the PDP is praying the courts to void the APC NWC as well as all candidates produced by the party for the 2023 elections on the claim that they were produced in breach of the 1999 Constitution, the party's Constitution, and Electoral Act 2020. BKO, do you see this suit by the PDP as an ambush, as a sort of ambush for the APC?
I know that if you can keep your opponents busy with this kind of litigations, you can distract them sufficiently so that they won't be able to focus on the prize. It can give you some advantage. But whether the PDP can go far with this kind of cases that they are filing all over the place is something that I cannot determine. The other day, they sued Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for using the surrogate vice presidential candidate, what we have now come to know as a placeholder. But the law is clear. As long as you do not replace that surrogate candidate after the window for replacement slams shut, you've not done anything wrong. And for me, I wasn't surprised that the case was dismissed because the candidate had not committed any offense. He exercised his right to replace the vice presidential candidate within the time that the law permits. INEC's guidelines stipulate that at so time, you can no longer replace. At so time, you are permitted to replace because you wanted to beat the deadline. And maybe later on, you discover that somebody was better. You are free to change him. As long as you did not do that outside of the time frame, you've done nothing wrong. But they still went to court. And of course, the outcome was very predictable. The case was thrown out for lack of merit. We are seeing even political parties that on their own, they are factionalized. They are suing the ruling party. Of course, everyone thinks that one sure way to win is to look for chinks in the armor of the ruling party. But for some of these cases, I believe that time will prove that the litigants have merely wasted their time and money, because the Supreme Court, in deciding Jegede versus INEC, already affirmed that it is not the person who submits the name of the validly nominated candidate that matters. It is the party that nominates candidates. The Supreme Court affirmed in that judgment, that close judgment that Akeredolu narrowly won at the Supreme Court, that it is not the person that submits that matter. Submission, INEC says the chairman and the secretary shall be the people to submit the names of candidates. But this is just administrative in nature. Once a candidate is validly elected, the Supreme Court says even a clerk of the party can present the name of the person who validly emerged from the Congress of the party, from the primaries of the party. If you are not validly nominated, even the national chairman is not permitted to go and present your name to INEC. Remember what happened with Yobe? Didn't the national chairman of APC try to claim that the Senate president was the candidate of the party? Of course he tried. But INEC said no. It is Machina, the primaries that produced Machina, that we witnessed. So what matters, the Supreme Court has already shown clearly that what matters, it has emphasized that what matters is for the primary to meet these stipulations in the electoral guidelines. Whether it is the clerk or anybody can submit a name. And one thing that has also not been proven to us in court, because when we had the Jagede versus INEC, because Malabune was not joined, it proved fatal to the case of the opposition PDP. But the question is, can we say that party positions, party appointments are executive in nature? Because what the law says is that you can't hold two executive positions. Party positions, can we define them really as executive positions? And to simply build a case on a high court, a matter for a high court that the governor of Osun lost, a matter that has not been decided by the final court, which is Supreme Court. You can't anchor a fresh matter on that because you don't even know where this one will end.
Okay.
For me, trying to take away the candidacy of about 350 House of Reps members and 109 senators and more than 700 House of Assembly members. I mean, in my view, is an exercise in futility. What they are asking for, I do not see the courts grant this. The courts will sack the Adamu-led APC, NWC, sack all of the candidates of the party, sack the presidential candidate. I don't see how a court will grant that kind of...
All right, Paul Dada, do you share the same view with BK?
I share the same view. In fact, I smiled when I saw the topic. You know, I without prejudice to what the court will decide, I don't want to sound as if I'm speaking the mind of the judge. But I can still say that I am almost sure that it's an effort that will fail. I think PDP is wasting its time more than any other party's time with this. We have less than 4 months to general elections. PDP should concentrate on putting its house in order and concentrate on marketing its candidate. You know, for you to think that you can just weaken a party, you know, a party by going through this means, it's for me, it's nonsensical. It's nonsense. It doesn't make sense to me. You are already a divided party. You are already going to that election on a weak platform because you are now weak. given the recent events in that party, how do you want to go around the problem you already have? What are you doing to solve it? Again, I also see some level of hypocrisy here. A party that even the legitimacy of the party chairman is being questioned. Questioned in the sense that some people are even saying that their rules, their constitution, the PD constitution says that you can't have the presidential candidate and the national chairman come from the same zone. That's already been contested. You have not solved that one. So what you are trying to do now is to be a busybody in other men's matters. You're trying to, go to court, a case that does not concern you, which means you want to win by all means. But I think what the PDP should be doing now is to position itself, to wrest power from the APC. There are so many things to criticize the APC for. If there are certain things you can criticize the APC-led government for, and you'll be right. So those are the things they should concentrate on and give us, they should articulate the alternative programs they have. That's what they should be doing. They should be convincing Nigerians. APC came out and gave us the timetable of his campaign, the schedule. We have seen it. Well, that's what we want to see that from PDP. Let's see what PDP has to offer Nigeria. Not going behind not trying to get the abuse. Not in the end, the court might even see it as an abuse of his process and throw away the suit.
All right, Bikio, let's look at another twist to this. There is this concept of medisum interloper in law. Does PDP has the right to institute such case against another party? Before you answer that, Bikio, please let's go for this commercial break. I'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Before we went on that break, we were talking about PDP's suit against the Adamu-led NWC. Bikio.
I think there is an amendment now. A friend of mine was drawing attention to it, that if a candidate from a rival party was not qualified, for example, or there were some things that were done in breach of the law, you can actually sue. Okay. So I'm not going to say that they are, in this case, interlopers, because even in Benue, I think the PDP has decided to even challenge the candidate of the APC, in that state. So then there's an amendment to the Electoral Act that permits this kind of action to be taken. I don't have all the facts, but I was told by a friend of mine that there's an amendment to the law which allows them to sue the opposition party over the conduct of their primaries, for example. In the past, that was not allowed in law. But I'm more concerned about where this whole thing leads them. It's like the PDP is chasing what amounts to red herring, just looking for opportunities here and there to file some suits against the APC in the hope that maybe maybe one of those cases maybe to win one of those cases. But the same way that he lost the placeholder suit when he decided to sue the Labour Party presidential candidate and the candidate of the APC, I'm sure this one is headed in that direction as well. And what will perhaps even worsen things for them is if all of these 109 senatorial candidates of the APC and about 350 House of Reps candidates decide to apply for joinder. How are you going to handle? Because you are trying to take my position, take my candidacy. I have a right to ask to be joined in the suit. So if all of them apply for joinder,
as an
how are they going to handle such a situation? They should just focus on the
That's what I said.
the conduct of the election. I mean, on their preparations for the election, campaign vigorously, tell Nigerians that you are a better party than the APC, you know. So if you fail to do that, you are chasing shadows.
All right, let's take
it's bad.
Ibrahim from Kaduna. Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, good evening, madam, and
Good
good evening
evening
to your two guests over there. I am Ibrahim from Kaduna. In fact, this is quite interesting topic this evening that you just cited us. You see, I don't know why some people do just come out with some important show that is not really valid. You are not belonging to that party, and you say you are going to sue that same particular party to a court. So, to me, really, it's quite understood. All these are beautiful of democracy. Is that clear? But I hope that this very case is not going to see the light of the day.
All right.
Mr. Babajide and your other guests there, they know it. I believe they are going to analyze it for us, and this is what we want to be playing out for us to hear and see. You see, some people elsewhere, because they know where they are going, but they just want to do something that let them just hear us. You know,
right.
at the
Thank
end
you
of
very
the
much,
day,
Ibrahim.
this case is...
Thank you very much for your contribution.
You see, the national chairman of the party and his NWC members were products of the APC convention. The convention is the biggest decision-making organ of the party. It's stronger than the neck. And whatever decisions are ratified by the convention, it stands. So the convention ratified the election of Adamu and others. So it wasn't even
it wasn't May
Malabuni that organized the convention.
I think what they are saying is that May Malabuni organized that, you know, it was the one that handed over to the NWC. It was his administration that conducted that election. And May Malabuni, according to May Malabuni, was holding dual position, so it wasn't a valid, you know. But to me, that argument is very convoluted. It doesn't apply.
The convention ratified the once the convention ratifies a decision, it's the biggest decision-making organ of the party. It stands. It stands. It's bigger than NEC. It's bigger than NWC.
All right.
So,
finally,
I don't think at the end of the day you cannot say that it was Memala that delivered the convention of the party.
Anyway, this kind of frivolity goes with the territory. It's the electioneering season, and it will fizzle out. You'll be surprised that, or it shouldn't surprise you that in the next 4 years also you have all sorts of frivolous court cases. You know, it goes with the territory. For me, it's laughable. Just laugh.
all right, then, Biki, on a general note, we now have a task force to hear pre-election matters. because of the huge number of cases we have. What does this
Yes.
tell? What does it say about our democracy?
No, it underlines the determination of the judiciary to dispense with these cases as quick as possible. Our political parties lack the capacity to resolve even easy matters amongst themselves. Every matter they want to take to court. So the courts have become more and more busy over the years because these people simply can't resolve what should be family affairs. They can't resolve all these issues. They must get to court. Look at the PDP, for example. I was reading that they've suspended, is it expelled Adebutu, you know? And that is supposed to be the governorship candidate of the party by of a faction. So why can't politicians even sit together and resolve issues without a resort to the courts? So the courts, there are so many cases before our courts, and I'm not surprised that now they are looking for ways to just dispense with those matters so that people can go for election. Look, despite the fact that the period for campaign was extended by the new Electoral Act, you can see that as we speak, in some states, they do not know who is the candidate yet because the courts have stopped some primaries, cancelled some primaries, and ordered fresh rerun. Now, those reruns have not even taken place. An election is starting in February.
Less than 4 months.
You know? So it means that even if they give some of these are politicians, even if they give them 1 year, they will still not get things right. Courts will still be deciding matters for them. Primaries will still be held less than 4 months to election. It's really sad.
All right.
It's sad.
Support Dada. Thank you very much for coming on the program today. Bikio, thank you so much for sharing your insight on the program today.